Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet of Sports Gamer Soapbox Talk podcast, and this is number 18 to be exact, episode 18, and welcome to another great show. Man, what a week it has been here on the channel, as there's a lot of things going on in sports. We had everything from the Olympics. We had the U.S. men basketball team being gold winners. Yes, congratulations to Kevin Durant and Melo and so many others winning the United States gold in the basketball. And of course, the Olympics just ended this past Sunday with the ceremony. Also, NYC was flooded and invaded by wrestling fans once again for the second year in a row. WWE invaded the one of the five boroughs of New York, that being Brooklyn. You had the WWE SummerSlam pay-per-view, but the night before you had the WWE NXT Takeover Brooklyn #2 on Saturday night. We'll get into that here in just a bit. Also, over the going back to the Olympics, we had two Mongolian wrestlers, actually to be exact, their coaches stripping. Yeah, dollar here, dollar there, dollar make you holla. We'll tell you about why they were stripping in front of stripping people, stripping in front of a crowd and this was televised. This was a televised wrestling match there in Rio. Also, we got some NCAA preseason. We'll get into the rankings and whatnot into that here in just a bit. But also, we got more news. Oh my goodness. Al Roker, he is very upset with Ryan Lochte. We'll tell you why. And also, in other news with him, he is losing millions over this as he's making out to be a little white lie. We'll explain how much he'll actually be losing and to who here on the show. Also, we got some NFL news of Peppers, Matthews, and Harrison refused to help the NFL over this investigation reported by Al Jazeera America about possible PD use. Yeah, this is getting serious now, and there could be some serious consequences for them if they do not help out with this. All they want to do is the NFL wants to speak to these three and plus a couple others that have refused to do so. So, yeah. So a lot to talk about here today. And let's go ahead and get it started on this week's episode of Sports Gamer Soapbox Talk as we talk about real things going on in sports. So, let's go ahead and let's get into it right now. And the story that I just mentioned there towards there at the kick off the show here, talking about Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, and Harrison of the Steelers. Now this has been out in the news here. It's about this regarding to this Al Jazeera report. Now this report's been out since towards the end of last season, and it was making quite a news. It was making some, making its way around the NFL, and people were talking about it. And now there might be some good concrete news. And I'm getting this information from Yahoo Sports. So according to Yahoo Sports reporter and a couple other ESPN and whatnot, Harrison of the Steelers, Peppers, of course, I believe now he's retired. He was a former, Carolina Panther, recently just retired with the Packers, and also a teammate of the Packers, Clay Matthews. They've reportedly it's been said that they refuse to talk to the NFL about this doping that these players and several others that are part of this report, according to Al Jazeera America, are a part of this. And of course, all three men say that this is untrue. None of them has never doped before. They don't understand where the story is coming from. But investigators from the NFL want to talk to these men and several others about the report. And there's nothing wrong talking to an investigator. Of course, you want to have your legal representation there to help you out. If there's legal issues, everybody needs to protect, needs to have some kind of legal possession. But to me, at the same time, if you know deep down in your heart that you did not do this and you want to clear your name, I don't understand why they wouldn't want to talk to these guys. Now, it's unclear why. We don't know if they're going to be, if they're been least linked. And there's been several names saying that these three men and a couple others in the NFL were reportedly doping during last season's NFL season, and as part of a whole been doping scandal that has been shaken here in the last been shaking the core of the NFL. Not to mention, there's also names linked in also in some baseball players. I think this might be the same report that released some names of some Olympic stars and also I believe some UFC and MMA fighters that were a part of this doping scandal or doping ring, buying illegal steroids from outside the United States and using them. And there's several doctors, physicians, and stuff that are a part of this whole scandal. And Al Jazeera did an investigative reporting and just doing their job, and that's their job is to get to to find the truth and find out what's going on. And there's several names in the report. Like I said, there's a link down below. You guys check out. It's a good read if you're interested in seeing this all about. But I don't know. I think we talked about this enough on the show here. You guys know where I stand on this and whatnot. To me, it's just like if if there shouldn't be, you shouldn't be scared to talk to an investigator. You shouldn't be scared to talk to someone that is trying to find the truth about something, because if you have nothing to hide, then they by all means they should go out and get your name clear. I believe in that. And when someone is falsely accused out in public, and then it shows that they didn't do it, there were no involvement in anything, then law enforcement should go out of their way and saying this person was not a part of this to clear that individual's name. To me, you do it easily if they are accused, and especially if the evidence shows that they did it. You got their name plastered, all over over the news and television and all that kind of stuff. And then and it's not necessarily the police doing that, but it's also media doing that. You should be able to do the same thing when someone is innocent. Hopefully they try to make comments, both Yahoo Sports and ESPN, and I think even Fox Sports, try to get any kind of comments from these guys there. And as far as they have no comment about this. They are going to fight tooth and nail. I believe I did read one report that Clay Matthews already got paperwork filed against the network of Al Jazeera for the falsifying for liability on his behalf. I don't know about any other players, but that's one player I've heard of so far who has taken legal action against this report that to him it says they falsify. Now, NFL, has seen this report from Al Jazeera, and to them, I think they're really interested of okay, is if this report seems legit, seems you know something that is concrete and something that we can go on. I don't know. I don't know what I mean. I know. I'm sure that there's some kind of their conduct substance policy there. And we could possibly be seeing some some suspensions coming for these guys if everything comes out to be true. And this is, I mean, for the NFL, they already this is already a bad start. I mean, you had a kicker who last week got in trouble, who's going to be missing the first couple of games of the season. You have Tom Brady, who the NFL. Who has gotten support by the local circuit court there, who has said that, hey, the ruling stands on the behalf of the NFL that Tom Brady needs, he broke NFL rules. Him and the Patriots, they're going to have to, deal with this. They're going to have to lose. They're going to have to have him set out for 4 games, and then Tom Brady has decided this, and of course, his legal team and of course, Kraft is trying to get it to the point where they want the Supreme Court, the court of all courts in the land, to hear about this case. And to me, that's just a waste of time. There are so many other issues right now, more important issues when it comes to the Supreme Court. They don't need to hear something that a small, circuit court or whatever. And even that is just ridiculous. I mean, to the point where it's just ridiculous. Hearing this, having the Supreme Court, the 9 justices of the highest court in the land, listen to this. They're gonna. This is. I mean, seriously, this is. I wouldn't be surprised if they would be just laughing it off. I mean, but yeah. Anyway, that's just the NFL so far. I mean, there's just so much going on here. There's so much storyline going on right now with this first. And the season hasn't even officially begun. I think we're still in week 3 in the preseason. So I mean, it's like, wow. There's so many things going on right now. It's crazy. All right, let's go ahead and go to. There's a link down below. We'll go ahead. Like I said, there's a link down below for that story. Go to our next story real quick. The top 25 teams have been released. And, of course, the number 1 team in the land for college football is no other than anybody? Alabama. Yes, that's right. Alabama is your preseason top 25 team. The season will. I can't remember exactly when the season is going. It should be starting this weekend. I want to say it's this weekend that they're going to be starting the preseason. Okay, let's go on my phone right here. I'm going to check it out here on my. Well, of course you guys can't see this, but I'm going to actually look and see when the season will start here. Let me take a look here. Yes. Okay. When is college football starting? And we'll see. That it is. Season will start actually September 1st. This upcoming. So it'll be about another week. That we'll have college football. I know a lot of people are excited about this. It will kick off at, it will be Louisville versus the Charlotte 49ers. It's a 7 o'clock game. You also have that's the ACC. In the SEC, you have Tennessee and Appalachia State. And then Friday, September 2nd, you have 3 games there. And then the first Saturday of the year, you have number 3 Oklahoma going against number 15 Houston. You have Bowling Green going against number 6 Ohio State, and then you have Hawaii going against number 7 Michigan. So those are your noon games that day, and then you got some, of course, 3:30 games and so on and so forth. But those are the games that are going to be going on. And then, of course, Sunday you have on ABC you have number 10 Notre Dame going against Texas in that game, and then of course the classic Monday night game. You have Ole Miss going against number 4 Florida State University. So those are the games, the top 25, some of the top 25 game. Yeah. Some of the top 25 games are going on this first week of the season. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's already starting already. So it's pretty exciting this year. I know last year I didn't watch too many. The college football, I didn't watch that too much, but I am going to try to watch a lot more this year. I don't know, the last couple of years here has been kind of tough for me watching college football. I think it's one of those things where you're younger, you're really into it, and especially when you're in college, especially if you're going to one of those big schools, or you're close to one of those big kind of schools, you want to you're really excited about it, especially if there's players in there that you're really interested to see. But yeah, here in the last couple of seasons here, I want to say last year and the year before, I don't know, it was really tough for me to really sit down and watch a couple games. The only games I would watch were local games, so you had your Kansas State, your Kansas games were usually in the beginning of the day for 11 o'clock, and then you got Nebraska somewhere in the middle there. And in the middle of the afternoon, then you had K-State and Oklahoma State, some of your nightcaps there. Let's go ahead and, anyway, we'll take a look here and see the top 25 teams goes as this. We got Florida State at number 25, Oregon Ducks at 24, Baylor Bears at 23, 22, North Carolina Tar Heels, Oklahoma State Cowboys at 21. At 20, you have USC, who, of course, will be sharing a building this year, at least for right now, for the year, with the Los Angeles Rams, who are in the NFL. They're back there in L.A. Number 19, you have the Louisville Cardinals. Number 18, the Georgia Bulldogs. Number 17, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Number 16, the USCLA Bruins. 15, you have the Houston Cougars, which I mentioned earlier. 14, you got the Washington Huskies. Number 13, one of my favorite teams, names, the TCU Horned Frogs there. Number 12, Michigan State Spartans. Number 11, Ole Miss. Number 10, Notre Dame, or the Fighting Irish there. Number 9, Tennessee Volunteers. Cardinals of Stanford, number 8. Number 7, Michigan Wolverines. Right above them are their rivals. And number 6, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 5, LSU Tigers. Number 4, Florida State. Number 3, Oklahoma. And number 2, Clemson. And, of course, number 1 being Alabama. So those are your top 25 teams. And, the season will start starting next Friday. But then the rest of the games will be on Saturday. So should be a great weekend of football. We'll probably get into some of those. We'll talk about some of those, some of the games I'm kind of excited to see. There are a few of these teams that I've named. I'm kind of excited to see how they're going to do this year. But we'll probably get into that next week. Try to get into that next week's program. Those are your top 25. Like, again, there's a list down below, or a link down below to the listing there of the teams. All right, now let's go ahead and move on, and let's go into let's get to some some Olympic news. We got some funny news, and then we got some really sad news. One of the funnier things was, and I didn't watch this. I seen some highlights of it, and I heard the explanation of it. But two Mongolian wrestling coaches stripped down all the way down to their skivvies. When I say skivvies, I mean their underwear. They they were protesting over a scoring issue between the Mongolian wrestler and I want to say a Korean wrestler. I can't remember. I can't remember who the other opponent was. But there's a link down below. You guys can read about it. There's actually, I think, a video with it. But it's funny because the guy that was wrestling, he was prancing around and stuff, and there was only, I think there was like 30 something seconds left or whatever. And the Mongolian wrestler was the other young man. He was trying to, there was still time left. He had an opportunity to score, to get try to get some kind of score or whatever, in wrestling, because you have scoring in there, and trying to get a pinfall and stuff like that. And the Mongolian guy just kept prancing around and dancing and stuff like that and whatnot. Well, when the time was up, the Olympic officials decided that they were going to penalize the Mongolian wrestler for unsportsmanlike conduct. And the two coaches from the Mongolian were outraged. They were pissed. They went up on the thing. They like, I don't know what was actually said, but some words were exchanged, and they were not going to leave at all. And they decided to show their that they were serious and that they need to be taken seriously and not be. They didn't care for what the Olympic officials were doing. They decided to go ahead and just strip down to their underwear, and this is on national or international television, I should say. This is on international television. Mainly here, and I know here in the States on ABC, that they were broadcasting this match, and when I was watching the highlights and I was reading some of the story about it and everything, I'm like, man, there's at least it's the most I guess you could say the worst thing can happen in Rio. These two got wrestling coaches getting upset and mad because of this, because of the wrestler being poor sport and not giving the other guy a chance for that match. But wrestling, seriously, stripping down to your underwear and make a protest, that is something I've never seen before at all in sports. So I thought that was really, really hilarious. All right, let's go ahead and move on to gold. Of course, I don't have the link here, but I know a couple more young ladies there in Rio, particularly in the gymnastics categories there, won some more gold. Congratulations, ladies. Yeah. Won some more gold. And, of course, they're going to be on Wheaties boxes. They're going to be on Wheaties boxes. They're going to be, doing a lot of promoting on television and so much here for the next couple of months. So congratulations to them. Gabby Douglas and her, what they call them, the Fab, or not the Fab Five, the Fierce Five, or something like that. Congratulations to them on their accomplishments down there in Rio. Thank you, ladies, for doing a great job and representing the United States in a positive light. Love it. Not to mention Mr. Michael Phelps, Mr. AKA, I call him, he's Aquaman. He is definitely Aquaman. DC and Warner Brothers, you need to get a hold of him because he is Aquaman. That guy is he had that water on fire in Rio. I did watch some of those races there, and he swimming is not the biggest sport in the world. I don't know what it is in the world, but it's not the biggest sport here in the United States. I know there's a lot of good swimming programs. I know KU, for one, locally have a great swimming program. A couple of divisional 2 schools that we have around here have a decent swim team. And then, of course, there's a lot of teams out west. You got Stanford and some of these Ivy League schools and stuff like that have swimming as one of their big time money makers, stuff like that. It's really become really popular, and it's just only helping itself with having guys like Michael Phelps and doing what he's do. And of course, everybody's asking, hey, you're gonna be ready for the, what's, are you gonna be there for the 2020 games in Tokyo? And of course, he's already said, no, I'm not gonna show up. I got a son. I want to spend time with my son. Him and his wife, brought a new baby into the world, and he just wants to be dad. So, and I have no problem with him doing that. I think I mentioned that in the last episode. For me personally, I have no problem with that. What else could this guy can do? I shouldn't say young man. He's the same age as me, about the same age as me. We've seen him, since what I think. I can't remember which games he debuted in, but he has won gold like crazy. He's done so much, especially in the London games and now in these. There's nothing else for this guy to do. He's at top of his game. I don't see any other Olympian that could do this at all. Especially with the fellow swim team members he has on that squad. I don't think they'll probably be swimming anytime here soon in the next games with the way how they treat the host countries and making up lies. That segues to my next thing I'm going to talk about, which is on my soapbox this week, and we're going to talk about celebrities or celebrityism in other countries, and not to mention one celebrity in particular. We have two stories, and one of them I shouldn't laugh at, but I see why he's upset with this guy. And then another reason I'm just like, okay, you just the raw emotion that he had on TV. I really thought he was gonna cuss there on live morning television. And I'm talking about Roker. There's a story down there below about him and what he thinks about Ryan Lochte. Also, we'll get into the story that he has told. He told Matt Lauer in the Today Show. But yeah, there's a story according to Yahoo Sports about the Olympic Committee, the United States Olympic Committee, and also the Olympics itself. Has came out publicly and apologized to the people of Brazil and of course their heads of state there about the way how some athletes there, especially American athletes, have acted, and they're in Rio, particularly in Ryan Lochte. Now, if you guys remember, just about a week or so ago, he told the press down there, international press, local press, that he and his fellow swim team members, three others to be exact, were held up and basically extorted and told to pay up a couple hundreds of dollars, and that they could leave. They wouldn't be harassed anymore. Well, that turned out to be a lie. That lie was later revealed by some really good investigative reporting, and not to mention the store owner saying, no, that did not happen. I simply asked them to pay, a couple $100 to have the door replaced that they ruined, the bathroom that they destroyed. And this was something that he thought that they destroyed it. They need to replace it. So he asked them, and of course Lochte and them said that they were being chased, they were being threatened, and that their lives were in danger, and that's how when they came back to the Olympic Park village there for the athletes, they told everyone there that they were being targeted at because they're athletes, they're American athletes, and that they're being extorted by local gangs there in Rio. Now, are there local games in Rio? Yes, there are. I don't know exactly who the gangs are, and who the members are, but there have been reports. There's been several. Before the games were announced for the 2020 or for the 2016 games, Rio's had an issue with corruption. Just like most countries here, or like most countries in the world, including the United States, you have dealings with corruption, local government, local politicians, stuff like that. And the same thing goes with Rio. But Lochte made it even worse, saying that they were robbed, and then we find out later on, nope, it was totally false. Now, there's been good things going on. Recently here, there's a link down below. The men of the basketball have won gold there, beating Serbia, it's a great story because a lot of these games that the United States men's team, these games were close. And that shows right there that basketball as a world sport now is becoming the world is shrinking. It's a global sport. It's people around the world are understanding the sport and how to play the sport very, very well. And there's a link down below for that, and whatnot. But with Lochte's story, him lying to the international press of all things, and making us think, oh my goodness, like, well, these games are even, it's even more worse now because, we have American athletes are being targeted, well-known American athletes, and yet all American athletes said they have never been, they've never targeted down there at all. Many of them said that a lot of safe harbor areas in Rio have been there haven't been any incidents. There hasn't been any incidents of international incidents with players from other countries either. And that's what made a lot of reporters think, okay, there's something weird about this story. Lochte also went to the point of telling his mother what was going on, and she's getting conflicting stories because the story she's hearing doesn't add up to what he's been saying. And to come down to it, all it was because they had to pay replace a door that they messed up because they were too hammered and too fucking drunk to realize what they were doing. And when the guy there, the owner of that gas station, said, "Hey, you guys destroyed my building, or destroyed my bathroom, you destroyed my door. I need you to replace it." He's a small business owner. He doesn't have money to replace that, like stuff like that. Especially if it's a gas station that he's owned and it's been in his family for years. Now, I don't know the story of this guy here. But you just can't go into another country and saying, doing what you do, doing what you would do here like you would do in the States here. And if that happened, he would be arrested. And just so that he needs to be arrested down, which he he didn't do down there in Rio. Now, all this could have been, this could have not even been an issue. This probably wouldn't have been a story down there, in Rio, because the Olympic Committee would have said, hey, okay, made an agreement with the Brazilian police. Hey, let's keep this under wraps. We're gonna pay. We're gonna have the guys pay for the door, and everything's gonna everybody kosher because as a host country of the Olympics, you don't want controversy at all, good or bad. You don't want it at all, especially and also as the Olympic Committee with everything that's been going on with the Rio Games. You got in the pool. You got this weird green algae looking color water, which. You dive in there and you come out, you might have a third arm or a third leg or whatever. It just, I don't know. That was watching some of those diving competitions there, and that water is just like, ugh. Then you have the bay, a lot of the beach resorts and bay areas. there in Rio. They're very famous. Very, you see them in on movies and just travel shows like that. Beautiful, landscapes and all that. And the harbors are full with feces, you know, trash. I mean, whatever you can think of, you name it, it's probably in there. So this is not what you want to, dealing with an American athlete who broke a simple door, and just tell him, hey, pay for this. It could have been avoided if they would have just told what happened. This story would have, if it did come out and say, that there was American athletes acting funny. Ryan and them should have said, yeah, we were drunk, we were being irresponsible, we were drinking, went to a gas station, and wasn't thinking right. We ended up breaking the guy's door. That's all had to be said. But that old saying, you tell one lie, you have to tell three, you tell a lie, and then you have to tell three more just to cover that one lie. And that's what happened in this case. To me, what right now has happened to Mr. Lochte, you deserve it, everything. It was just, I'm going to try to find a link down below, but it was just announced just last, on Thursday, I think it was, Thursday, that, or no, it was actually Wednesday night when I heard about it, and then on Thursday I read about it. It was released that Ryan Lochte has lost so many endorsements by Nike, Adidas, or excuse me, I believe it's Nike, and the major ones, Speedo, have all dropped him because of this. This is what happens, people. This is what happens when you tell, especially when you're dealing with corporations. If you tell a lie, you're going to get caught. And when you get caught, you're going to lose endorsements. I mean, look at Tiger Woods. And I know this is two different things, but the incident that happened between him and his wife. He lied about seeing these women there in Vegas, when he was golfing. And she found out about it. And, of course, both of them were trying to keep it hush-hush throughout the media. But it was revealed that he did, when these women eventually did come out and say, yes, I have slept with him, I've been with him, da-da-da. So then after this, you have all these, golf companies, you have Buick, you have all these people saying, hey, we're not going to deal with you, you lied you lied in public, and then, you come in public and want sympathy from us. You should have just told the truth. Now, is it hard to tell the truth? Yes. I mean, are human beings natural liars? Yes, we all are. We tell lies all the time. No matter how big the lie is, no how small the lie is, it's a lie. Will it hurt you? Will it hurt you? Yes. Will it help you in some ways? Yeah. But it's all about the lie. I mean, if you're lying about anything like what Ryan Lochte did, you're gonna pay for it. Or what Tiger Woods did, you're going to pay for it. That's why they don't make Tiger Woods PGA golf anymore. EA. EA dropped him. Of course, their lie was, well, we're looking at a different, millennium. We're looking at a new group of young people that are watching golf. And, right now, the person that we're going to go with golf right now, the hottest product is Rory McIlroy. Now, hence, at the time, Rory McIlroy was the hottest thing in golf, and still is. You don't hear much about him right now, but that during that time, which was a couple of years ago, it was about 5-6 years ago, he was one of the hottest names in golf, and EA just struck with the iron. Hey, yeah, let's do it. And by dumb luck, by dumb timing, okay, well, we'll drop Tiger. This stuff's going on. We can easily say that, hey, have a press release saying, hey, we're going to release him because of X, Y, and Z, and that we're going to go ahead and go with a new face because we want to rebrand we've already had plans rebranding the product and whatnot. And with McIlroy, with Ryan Lochte, he deserves what he gets. Now, going to what I was talking about, Al Roker. Al Roker, of course, is one of the hosts or the weatherman there on the Today Show for NBC, and good friends with Matt Lauer. And he was upset about the interview. He really felt generally bad for Ryan and the swim team. This was a big story because, again, we've heard things about people being extorted before the Olympic Games. There's a lot of corruption in Brazil. I mean, literally overnight, within week, just about a month and a half, about a month and a half ago, they literally changed their president overnight, replaced the person that was in there, and brought in someone else. That should tell you something, that country is unstable with a lot of things going on. And that's why a lot of athletes from, not just from the United States, but from all over the world, a lot of them saying, yeah, I'm not showing up. Well, of course, the biggest reason why is because Zika, but, whatever. But, a lot of them said, no, we're not, I don't want to go down there because there could something be, something politically could happen and cause harm to the games. And trust me, for history reference, we've seen that before. Look at the 1960 or 1970 games in Munich. That did not turn out too well for anyone, especially for the Israeli team when they lost every single member. And again, this is another one of those international incidents that the Olympic Committee, especially the American Olympic Committee, is not going to take lightly at all. Now, does he deserve to lose his millions of dollars for endorsements? Yes, you do. You basically called wolf. Everyone's like, okay, where's the wolf at? No wolf to be shown. And now, we don't know, now the games are over with now, so we don't have to worry so much. But what happens if we have something like this again? It happens in Tokyo, and no one believes it, because it sounds too similar to what happened there in Rio. That's why you don't call wolf and don't produce a wolf. So I don't know. I think that he's got what he deserves. And then it's crazy because right now I'm looking on here and he has now been announced as one of the contestants. Get this, he is now announced as one of the contestants for Dances with the Stars coming up in September. How in the hell does that work out? Seriously, I'm reading this right now on my computer screen. How in the hell does that even? Oh my god! Wow. Yeah. Anyway, wow. Yeah, that is something, I tell you. All right, so but that, like I said, that's my soapbox of the week right there. He got exactly what he deserved. The United States Olympic Committee and the the Olympics itself, have went out of their way to try to get this story out. And as far as I know, I think all of the young guys, all the swimmers are back. Of course, he just recently did that television interview, admitting that he lied about it and the reason why he lied about it. And it's like, you could have, if you want to avoid embarrassment, all you had to do was tell the truth. There's a saying, this truth will set you free. You wouldn't have been dealing with that incident if you would just told the truth about what you did and what you all did instead of lying about it. And of course, the other guys there in Rio that were stopped. They couldn't leave, they had to get their passports were taken away from them and whatnot. They basically, hey, it was a lie. We totally lied. We, nothing like that happened to us and whatnot. So, falsifying a claim like that, I mean, that's some serious stuff. It truly is. It's serious, and you can't be taken lightly. But yeah, it's just yeah. As I said, I'm just looking at it right now. Yeah, he's gonna be a part of the Dancing with the Stars cast next year. So, and I mean, in all honesty, I mean, I guess there's a saying you don't judge a book by its cover. But to me, seeing him, I don't know if you guys, I mean, you guys probably seen him before. I think he's probably in the picture here in this for this week's episode. But he looks like a freaking douche. He just looks douchey. Someone you see in high school. They just a douche. Just tells tall stories about stuff that they've never done or never happened to them. Is like you're just like, okay, whatever. You're just going along with it, and just like, okay, yeah, that's what you saw. So, all right. So the Olympics are over with, thank goodness, and it was a very successful Olympics, I will say, and a lot. And some people say it was all right, but I thought it was a great, especially the end of the closing ceremonies and kind of getting people ready and promoting the 2020 games. Of course, will be in Tokyo. But yeah, it should be a great. It was a great, closing ceremonies, and like I said, everybody, for the most part, there was no serious reports there in the Olympic Park when it comes to athletes. Athletes, for the most part, loved each other, enjoyed spending time with one another, and there was a lot of great stories that happened with the Olympics. So, and of course, like I said, closing ceremonies were on Sunday, and I watched a little bit of that through streaming and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a great game. I didn't get to watch as much as the Olympics as I usually do, and I think it was because I'm more of a Winter Olympics type of person. But Summer Olympics were great. There were decent Olympic performances there at the game. So nice job. All right, now we'll go ahead and get to our final topic of this show, and that is my favorite, pro wrestling. So we're going to go to the square circle here and talk about what happened at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2 and also at WWE SummerSlam. Let's go ahead and get into it. It was a great night for the show. As let's kick off with the whole weekend was great. I know a lot of YouTubers that I follow went to a lot of the NXT or went to a lot of the WWE events. One of them, of course, that really kicked off. I think it was on Friday night, which was the WWE 2K17 media blitz of their game. They released or showed some game footage. People were playing it, and what I've seen from a lot of different vloggers and gaming companies, the game looks pretty legit. A lot of people are really excited about this year's Backstage Brawl. They say there was even a very good improvement in the creator character. You can add body hair now to your superstar, which you couldn't do in the current version of the game on the next gen, which was started with 15. Before then, you could do it on the Xbox 360 and the PS4 or PS3, but now on the PS4 now you can do that, adding hair, body hair. Of course, the paint. If you have paint on them, the paint will, throughout the match will kind of just fade away and kind of be all smudged and whatnot, which is, I think it's so cool. They're going to add those visual effects to the game. They also showed some new superstars. You got guys like AJ Styles. You had who else? AJ Styles, Alberto Del Rio returning to the game. AJ Styles making his first appearance. You got the Revival, who appeared onto the game this year. This was the first time. They actually just past Tuesday released some of the more names. I'll try to leave a link down below, down there for the IGN link. Their website has all the names of the superstars they've revealed so far. And I think they have one more reveal here, I think, coming up next Tuesday, which will be the final reveal. And I think they'll talk about even more. And, of course, everybody is still, like, okay, are you guys going to have the story design in there? Because a lot of people were requesting that this year, and it's yet to be said if it's in there or not. But the backstage brawl, they said it was really fun, looked really cool. Like I said, I've seen some footage of it, and I think that that's something that a lot of people have been asking for the last couple of years now. Keep that in there and bring that back, because you can do a lot with that with your with you, especially doing YouTube videos and stuff. So should be great. All right, as for the results of that NXT pay-per-view for Takeover, you had Ty Dillinger and Wesley Blake in a singles match there. Ty Dillinger won that one. You had the Authors of Pain going against TM61. The Authors of Pain, of course, won that match up there and that tag team match. You had Austin Aries defeating No Way Jose by submission. You had a debut by Ember Moon, very talented diva, or I should say women's wrestler. She took on Billie Kay, and she defeated Billie there in that match. You had Bobby Roode, Glorious. I can't get that song stuck in my. I can't get that song out of my head stuck. If you guys, I think I mentioned last week, there's some really cool vines, and I think now WWE has it on their website of Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, of course, aka Mr. Johnny Wrestling. They did some funny videos with Bobby Roode and stuff like that, using his song and whatnot, and you guys gotta check it out. It's hilarious. But yeah, Bobby Roode beat Andres Almas in that singles match between those two. Then you have the tag team champions, NXT tag team champions, defeat, of course, Ciampa and Guerrero. The Revival won that one. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. You have the co-main event. You had Asuka and Bayley, and talk about a match. That was a crazy match because, and it's funny because I was actually watching the match. I think I mentioned this on my. I think I mentioned on the. Well, no, I think I mentioned on my personal Facebook page, but I think I might have put some pictures up on the ESGNet. Check those pictures out. They're from Sporting KC. I went to my first ever MSL soccer game. I think I mentioned this last week that I was going to go to a soccer game, and I actually had to do the podcast a day or two early. But I went to my first soccer match and had a lot of fun. I was actually watching this match before the soccer game. So I was in a soccer stadium watching a wrestling match, and a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm watching NXT Takeover Brooklyn." They're like, "Oh, that is tonight." So I had quite a few soccer fans there waiting patiently for the soccer game to start. At the same time, watching the match with me, and it was a lot of fun. I will say, and I'll get to that a little here before we wrap up. Soccer game was a lot of fun, blast, and but this match between Bayley and Asuka, definitely a match of the year candidate for sure. And then your final match of the night, the NXT champion, that being Samoa Joe, being defeated and losing his title to Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura, your new NXT champion. So, will we see these two go head-to-head? I'm guarantee I will put money on it. We'll see them. What a match that was. That was a great match. I'm actually going to have to go back and watch that pay-per-view because from beginning to end, it was a great pay-per-view. But those two matches there of the night were definitely my favorite there. So, yeah, definitely check those out if you get a chance to watch the network. check those pay-per-views out and to relive if you missed it. If you missed it, shame on you. But yeah, it was a great night. Like I said, Saturday night there at for the pay-per-view there for NXT. Now, for the WWE, the main roster, of course, Raw and SmackDown being split. They shared the billing of the SummerSlam pay-per-view, and we'll get into those results right now. If you got a chance to watch it, awesome. If you didn't, well, you missed some big matchups there. Let's see, one of the big matches of the night was AJ Styles and John Cena. AJ Styles, of course, won the matchup there against Cena, and that, I want to say the last 5 minutes was really intense because it could have went either way. The way how they were, seesawing back and forth, the pinfalls, and that's what you want to see in a match, especially with two big names like that. You want to see a matchup go back and forth and just that nail biting, white knuckle type moments there, and that was so cool. The United States champion Rusev, of course, match did not take place after Roman Reigns rendered Rusev incapable to compete, so we'll probably see a match of that between those two. And of course, a lot of people are saying because that match ended up the way it did because of course, Roman Reigns. He had that suspension, and they're basically just keep teasing. They're going to keep teasing the idea of him possibly getting that title and taking off for Rusev. And that's, to me, that is seriously, WWE, who are you punishing? Are you punishing us? Because I'm sure the fans don't really care for Roman. There are fans out there that love Roman, but you wouldn't be doing this to John Cena if he was, in that same predicament as Roman Reigns. So I don't know. I don't know. Understand what I don't know. It just, to me, it's like, okay, he was in trouble, and they have this sick way of punishing guys when they get back from suspension. It's just make them be in these stupid, ridiculous matches or having these stupid, ridiculous gimmicks, and to me, it's not entertainment value at all. It's not. The return of Nikki Bella returning back with Natalya and Alexis Bliss in a six women's tag team match. They went on and they defeated Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella. And Naomi had a decent new look to herself and a new theme there. So I'm sure we'll see her a lot more on SmackDown. We got Gallows and Anderson defeating the New Day via disqualification. So New Day are still your WWE Tag Team Champions. And we'll see what those tag teams have in store for themselves hereafter, because they won't have another pay-per-view here for another, 4 weeks? Because in 2 weeks, Backlash will be the pay-per-view, and that'll be a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. We'll get to that here in just a bit. What else? We have The Miz defeating Apollo Crews, and he retains the Intercontinental Championship. If you've seen on Tuesday night there on SmackDown, oh my goodness. Talk about a promo that I've been wanting to see from The Miz, and from anybody here for a while now. The Miz straight up calling out Daniel Bryan and saying how much of a loser he is and how much of a failure he is because he can't wrestle anymore. And my jaw just hit the damn ground. I'm like, what just happened? This is crazy. Normally I don't watch talking, the little shows after the Raw Fallout, where they call it. And then now SmackDown has their little show after the show's off the air, off USA. You have to go to the WWE Network to watch it. I was like, wow, like, I mean, I know we're going to see that every week, but it's just like, that was a really good promo. Like, he took control of that. He made those cameramen look at him. I mean, I was kind of like, oh, wow, like, geez, like, is is Miz really venting about just how upset he is, and he's not, part of the going after the main title, or what's the deal? And it's a really good shoot on Daniel Bryan and how he's, of course, how Miz is, how his position right now in the WWE is, and it's making me want to pay attention to him a little bit more. You have Sasha Banks, the former WWE Women's Champion, ended up losing her title, and she ends up losing to Charlotte. So Charlotte is now the Women's Champion there on Raw. You got Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, or Jericho KO, or Jero KO as they call themselves, defeating Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. You got the best of 7 match, and of course the first match is won by Sheamus. Sheamus and Cesaro went head to head, and this is a best of 7. I didn't watch SmackDown to see what the second match was, but I'm sure it's probably now 1-1. Cesaro won, but I don't know. I haven't seen it yet or anything. I haven't heard anything about it yet. But Sheamus did win the first one. You had a matchup between you had Sami Zayn and Neville defeat the Dudley Boys, who we see on Monday Night Raw. Say they're going to call it quits. They officially have now retired, and so we'll see. But at the same time, they were attacked there on Raw. So could this be their way of sending themselves out and end their career with the WWE? A lot of people are speculating that this is their last run, that they want to go and retire, be a part of the WWE. You had a huge tag team match. You had for our kickoff match, you had the Usos, American Alpha, and the Hype Bros go against Bronzingo, the Von Villains, and the Ascension. And Usos, Alpha, and the Hype Bros won that match there in that 6-team tag team match. Of course, they're going to be crowning their first ever WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions here in a tournament here coming up here in the next couple weeks. And also their newest Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Champion there, which will be exclusively on SmackDown. So, again, like I said, a great weekend overall. I would have to say the match of the night that I enjoyed, and of course then later on, it was kind of next morning it was an announcement that he had to relinquish his title, and that is Finn Balor defeating the man of WWE, Seth Rollins, in a first ever WWE Universal Championship match. Finn Rollins. Finn Balor is your first ever WWE Universal Champion. Unfortunately, he had to relinquish the title because of a shoulder injury, which will take him out for a while there, and he won't be able to defend that title. The worst match of the night, I will have to say, to me, it was not entertaining whatsoever, and that is the Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton match. Randy Orton lost the match via TKO. Brock won the match, and of course, it was announced then on Monday that Brock was going to be fined by the WWE because of his actions, because of what happened at the pay-per-view. Now, don't know, with WWE, you don't know if it's going to be if it's a storyline it's an angle that they're working on, or if he was fired, or if he was not fired, if he was being fined for real. Now in real life, he is in some hot water right now with the Nevada Sports Committee or Athletic Committee because of the violations he's had with the substance abuse policy they have when it comes to steroids. And he is currently suspended right now, so he will not be able to fight in the state of Nevada until this clears up. I want to say it's a 30-day ban for him. So him and Dana White are going to have to get this fixed and whatnot, because I know there is a match. He does have another MMA fight here soon, and I can't remember. I don't think it's in Nevada, but he is scheduled, I think, for another match here before the end of the year. So if it's later on in the year, I mean, this year he has a good shot at it. But I'm not surprised by it at all with him and the whole steroids thing that he was involved in. But yeah, the match between him and Randy Orton was not entertaining at all. I know it's a story, you're supposed to make him big and bad, but I'm sorry, when you're your biggest talent, who's the so-called beast, and the beast needs some help with steroids. Yeah, he's not much of a beast to me. He just not credible at all. Credibility shot. So, but yeah, that was the worst. That was the worst of the match of the night. And hopefully Randy Orton, they'll be able to recover from him. He was on SmackDown Live there on Tuesday, and hopefully we'll see him involved in something there. Because to me, honestly, I don't know how they can, make this look good for him. So I don't know. We'll have to see what they'll come up with the creative team there on SmackDown. All right. So yeah, before we wrap up, I want to go ahead and talk about the MLS soccer. I'm gonna try to make up a video for this. It's gonna be probably just a quick little, like, me just explaining the pictures and stuff like that here on the channel. I'm trying to get it up this weekend. But I was gonna get it up this early this past week, but just been so busy with work and so many other things. I just didn't have the time. But the soccer game that I went to was a lot of fun. And honestly, if you ever go to a Major League Soccer game, go. It's a lot of fun. So I'll have a video about that and whatnot here. But yeah, it was a great time. My buddy took me to this to the Sporting KC game. I got to sit in the members section. It's the little section called the Cauldron. Had beer, food, all kinds of stuff. It was a great weekend. It was good to spend time with him. He's one of my great friends from college that I still keep in contact with almost a monthly basis. We talk to each other, every couple of weeks throughout the month, and just see how each other are doing, and try to get together from time to time, because he has family that lives close to where I live at. And he comes over to see them, then he comes by and visit with me. But yeah, it was a great weekend. Had a lot of fun seeing his two kids. Neither of them I met. This was actually the first time I met them. The last time I was there was 8 years ago. His daughter wasn't even born yet. I think his daughter was probably about a month away from being born, and his daughter just cracked up, and she's like, "Oh, Rashad, nice to meet you," and da 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 and everything, and my daddy's told me so much about you and everything. I'm like, what? But his daughter cracks me up, and his son, he's now 4. He's ornery, and he has some great kids. His wife's very, very lovely, and I love talking to her and everything. But he has a nice family, and so Joe, thank you for the great weekend. Thank you, Stephanie, also for both of you guys inviting me down there and taking me to the soccer game. Had a lot of fun, and hopefully I can get a chance to do that again, and we can all hang out again. The other person I thought I was going to go see, he was wanting to see us, but we didn't get a chance to because we were so busy. And that's our other friend, Michael. He didn't know I was coming down, and he was really upset that we didn't stop by to go see him. But we had so much on our plate already that we really didn't have time to really like settle down or do anything. We were kind of in and out trying to go do things and whatnot, because this was the only weekend that Joe had off, and because he works, he travel, his work takes him to different areas of the country at weeks at a time. So he wanted to spend this week with friends and stuff like that. So he called me up and told me that he's like, I got 2 tickets to a soccer game, and he says, you've been talking about wanting to go to a soccer game, and I've been talking about taking you to a soccer game. He's like, we're going to the soccer game. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So if you ever get a chance, if there's an MLS team nearby, go check them out. It's a lot of fun. I know I'm really getting close to thinking about having a soccer maybe series here on the channel. I don't know yet. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold my feet to the fire on that. But there is a good chance there might be one. So, like I said, it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. Drunk off my behind. Even though this is really cool, that even the one of the owners, there's like 3 owners, and I can't remember exactly which of the owners that did it, but the owner there, he's he's a huge soccer fan, but he also supports local businesses. He also supports the fans, and he does this to try to get people to come to the games and stuff. And Joe, he's actually pretty good friends with one of the owners. Was sitting there talking and whatnot. He's like, oh yeah, my friend Rashad, he's new to the MSL. He's been wanting to come to one of these games. He's like, I got tickets, and we came to the game and everything. And the guy's like, oh, okay. The owner came up to me and talked to me and asked me, how, what I thought about the arena and the team and stuff. I said, well, I don't know much about the team, but I said I passed here by the arena several times when I come down here to do shopping and stuff like that. And it's a beautiful stadium, really beautiful outdoor stadium. And we're sitting there talking and stuff like that. He's, well, I want to invite you. He says, I do this it's not just because you're here, but he says, I do this for all the home games. He says, I let you guys get as much, I let you guys have as much beer as you want on my tab. And he says, go there and enjoy yourself. So there's there's like 6 different types of beer, 6 to 10 different types of beers. A lot of them locally brewed. If you guys know anything about Kansas City beer, there's a company called Boulevard. They have all their different flavors of beers, and you have some of your national brands, well-known brands like Budweiser and stuff like that. And so he bought beer for everyone in that section, that cauldron, as they call it, their fan section. He bought all of them beer, and the beer was it was a limited time. It was for I think he had it for, he told the lady for the next hour and a half. Everyone in this section that wants beer can get it, and they get as many as they want. So I knew people were getting 3-4 beers at a time. I got two at a time, sitting back there drinking. Not to mention they had a thing for the members only, where the first 500 the first 500 people that came through the doors got these little wooden nickels, and all you do is you got a wooden nickel, had the logo of the team and the logo of the MSL, and you give it to somewhere where they sell drinks, and you get any mixed drink or any beer for that wooden nickel. And the drinks were pretty good. They were strong drinks. So if I'm only saying this because I'm of age, but the drinks were really good. They're strong drinks, but at the same time you got your money's worth. So it was a really fun, great atmosphere. The people that were there loved it, and it was like I said, it's becoming another sport that I think I'm falling in love with, and I wouldn't mind going to another game. I know now they're in position now. They got themselves in a better position now because they won, I believe, 2-0 or 3-0 in the playoffs coming up here. So, so congratulations to them. Great win there last Saturday night, and they played against the Vancouver Whitecaps. So it was a great night, and not to mention there too, if you guys know, he's known now nationally, and I think even internationally now. Tech Nine. He's a local hip hop artist there in Kansas City. He was performing a pregame concert there, which blew my mind and definitely blew Joe's mind because Joe's a huge Tech Nine fan. And he says, "I can't believe it." He says, "I didn't know Tech Nine was performing here tonight." I was like, "Neither did I." And it was, like I said, it was a great night. We had a lot of fun, and it was fun. We just had a lot of fun, and it was, drunken debauchery. We, after the game, we went to a restaurant with some other people, kind of sober up, and because Joe lives probably about a half hour from the stadium. So yeah, we were sitting there and with people, and they were telling me about the different soccer players and stuff like that, and said, "Hey, if you ever want to go to the game, let us know, but we'll help Joe get tickets for you and everything." So, but Joe's trying to get right now. He's trying to get on the season ticket holders list, and he has a bit of a wait. So, but he is part of this members club, and it's you buy tickets, you buy so many home tickets, and they have different events for every game, home game and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. And again, like I said, I want to thank Joe and Stephanie again for inviting me and for showing some really good hospitality there. So thank you guys so much. But that is it for this week here on Sports Gamers Podcast. Like I said, I'll try to have a little slideshow video of those pictures or some kind of video or some kind to show you guys what happened there at the soccer game. It was a really good soccer game. I had a lot of fun, and I'm surprised that I can remember after all the alcohol that I had. So, but that is it for me, you guys. Again, this is Sports Gaming, ESGNet's Sports Gamer Talk podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. Come on back for episode 19, and we'll see what's going on. Like next week, we have we got college football, and we got NFL getting ready to get kickstarted. And we'll talk about more about that here coming up next week. So that is it for me, you guys. As always, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Links are down below in the description. If you guys want any of the videos, you guys can. There's a link there that little button that has an eye on it. You can click on that. That's a playlist from all the other sports or all the other episodes, the past episodes, also the most recent episodes on there. You guys can click on those, check those out. Here, that's always updated every single week, and that's it. So thank you guys again for so much. For listening, and that is it for the podcast this week. As always, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you guys next time.